Hey guys, this is Ryan, and I'm joined today by a couple of esteemed guests. One very esteemed guest. This is Whiskey Wednesday. Um, this has been a pretty incredible time in the franchise community, and it's been really good to see the community come together. Um, First of all, before we kick it off and talk about some experiences, let's go around the horn. Shelly, what are you drinking today?
White Claw mango, but I've got a backup depending on how long I'm with you boys of White Claw lemon.
Nice. The mango's the first choice. Zach, what about you?
As Shelly has aptly put it, because she can say this, most people can't. But I don't know why, but I am like obsessed with the idea of like making drinks because I have a lot to my disposal back there, thankfully. So I made like a whiskey, like a hot whiskey apple cider drink because why not? Because I didn't really get it. I love it, so I figured I would try and make it, and it went kind of well. So it's
And what
good.
did your big sister call it?
I mean, you called it a sissy drink, is what you called it, which you can say, but yes, it is a sissy drink. But I'm enjoying it nonetheless. It's
Good, I'm
fine.
so
I have nobody to make fun of me, so it's okay.
Yeah, for me, I actually was going to make a game time decision because I wasn't quite feeling whiskey, even though it is Whiskey Wednesday. So I did bring the Truly.
Nice
And
choice.
I actually, Zach hates on me for it, but I actually like the Truly over the White Claw now. But I also have some whiskey. This is my house whiskey, Woodford Reserve. So I've got
I
I've
love
got
it.
both options. But Shelly,
Nice call.
give us a quick update. Tell us what's the state of the union in your world. I know that you guys have been very busy, but what are you seeing and what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, we've been busy. Our franchisees and their caregivers and nurses are kind of doing the Lord's work out on the front line, keeping grandmas and grandpas, moms and dads at home and safe. So it's been, a hard haul. One of the things that we started doing really early in early March was putting together a PPE supply chain, which, as everyone's seen in the news, has just been really hard to do. But we leverage some contacts. I'm a YPOer, Young Presidents Organization, though not as young as you two, still YPOer, and was able to put together a chain of PPE from around the globe, invested over $2 million to make sure that our franchisees had access to N95 masks and 3-ply masks and gloves and hand sanitizer and the whole kit and caboodle. And we've ordered plenty for like the next 12 to 18 months. But we also now have vetted suppliers so that we can order more as our franchisees need it. So it seemed like we had excess supply, and what I was hearing on the IFA calls about getting the country back open is even hotels and retail and restaurants didn't have adequate PPE to get back open, and our country has to get back open, and franchising has to get back. And so I called up David Barr, who is co-owner of Franworth, and I called up John Rachi and said, you guys are warehousing for me, and were so sweet when I had a moment of need 4 weeks ago to make Franworth's Liberty warehousing inventory management available to me. What do you think about teaming up? And we'll offer it at no cost and our capital deployed. And if you guys will handle the shipping and everything at cost for franchising, and let's get it open to all of franchising, regardless of size, franchisees and franchisors. So we got it out to Tam Kennedy for the franchisee forum last Thursday, and it hit Smart Brief today in terms of franchising kind of coming together. And you said that kind of at the start, franchising really is family. We're so passionate, we all can't wait to see each other at franchising convention. And it was like, as we were sitting here on millions of dollars of inventory, excess capacity, or like, what can we do to be part of the solution of not just healthcare but broader franchising, which I love franchising. It's in my blood for almost 20 years. So how can we use what we have to get the country back open again? And that feels really good. I called Jennifer from IFA and told her my idea. She goes, I love this. I said, I know, isn't it so much more fun than talking about PPP loans? Like, we get to do something.
Yes.
It doesn't suck to talk about, and it like feels good, and it's going to make a difference. So that's what we're up to.
That's incredible. Zach, I'm sure you remember we were at that warehouse this summer, but
We were at that warehouse.
It's fantastic. I mean, it's first class. It's, secure, temperature controlled. They're skewing everything because we've got so much tied up in inventory. We're not in the inventory business. We've never had to do this before. But, if we could take one thing off our franchisees' plate and let them just focus on caring for clients and supporting their caregivers, it was one thing that we could lean into and use our size and scale to buy at quantity. And now we have an opportunity to hopefully make a difference for all of franchising.
I love that.
I love that.
How do people take advantage of that? How do they find that, Shelly?
Well, we have a flyer that's been sent out. It was in the Smart Brief today. I can get you guys a link to that and a flyer if there's a way for you guys to push it out. That would be fantastic. IFA is in the middle of putting up a web page on the IFA site, franchise.org, to make that available for all of franchising a little bit more seamlessly. We started hitting the go button last Thursday, and we already hit Smart Brief today. So
what do you, outside of being extremely busy, what are you doing outside of work to blow off steam and
yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the first 3 weeks of this, Zach kind of does drive-bys on kind of 3 calls per week that I do with his mom or both of his parents. But I've got lots of friends in franchising, so Zoom calls in the evening. I do 2 franchise group calls with Brad and Sherry, are part of a group of 16. And then I do a girls only call that his mom's part of, which is usually where I get to see Zach at least once or twice per week.
Do like a little wave.
Yeah, wave. And I'm like, okay, no boys allowed, out. So that's, once or twice a week. And then I do a YPO forum group call once a week. So I try to stay connected to people that way. The first 3 weeks of the crisis, I was in a downtown apartment just running Command Central 20 to 22 hours a day, truthfully 7 days a week. And I sent my ex and my kids out to Arizona to be with the grandparents because the cases were far less in Arizona. Yeah. And I knew that school was going to stop, and they needed some support structure, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't both help thousands of grandmas and grandpas receive care and try to be a parent. So that was really sad and hard to be completely alone in a high-rise apartment. And so it was unsafe to even get into an elevator. So I never left my apartment for 3 weeks. April 3rd, I joined my family in Arizona. So, you hear about this in Hollywood, but families coming together and putting kids first. But I'm living with my ex-in-laws, my ex-husband, and my kids all together. And then, what do we do for fun? About once a week, we'll make time for a hike. My kids will indulge me. Usually it's my sweet Luke. Mike says no way, but he's up as long as it's video games, but he won't get up and do a hike with his mom. I'm learning pickleball, which I didn't even know what it was. And now I'm kind of figuring that out.
I love that.
And, swimming, when it gets a little cooler, it's already over 100 degrees here. So my fair skin kind of can't take this kind of heat, but the kids love it. And at least I'm with them. So they are my brief break when I'm not at my computer. But, it's still somewhat Command Central 7 days a week. We were fortunate. We, worked really, really hard with our franchisees, got 100% of our franchisees PPP loans. But that was a huge effort. We had all of them applied with at least 2 to 3 lenders each. But it was a long haul. And then last Saturday, that kind of came to fruition on the 2nd. But we know our franchisees, it's taking them longer to get paid by their customers. Their mix of businesses had to change because the personal care business is down somewhat substantially across the industry, because people who didn't absolutely have to have care don't want people coming in and out of their home. They're understandably scared given their demographic and how COVID-19 is impacting, the elderly. So I get it. Although, we were well prepared, we have nurse oversight. People knew how to wash their hands as part of every orientation, and we have PPE. So I think those that need care should feel really safe with our brand. But we've shifted the business mix and temporarily to temperature checking and helping businesses get back open and doing temperature checking for them. But it's not people that we have credit history with. and they are used to paying their bills
Mhm.
in 1 to 2 months, not 1 to 2 weeks. And so our franchisees, since they're paying their people every week, are sitting on huge amounts of accounts receivable, would have had a liquidity crisis and lots of businesses going under had they not accessed PPP. So I knew that. I knew it was critical part of the solution of keeping clients taken care of, seniors taken care of, caregivers employed and getting paychecks. So, I mean, I did personal one-on-one emails after round one with every franchisee that didn't have funding, making sure they had lending solutions in place, sending full network emails of who had what loan and what geography, and asking franchisees that already had a loan to help their fellow franchisees in
Wow.
the same
Yeah.
geography go to the same lender. So we did it took 38 lenders to get all of our franchisees funded. So it was a lot of effort. We established a national relationship with the credit unions to get credit unions funding our franchisees. So it was a large effort to get it done, but it was essential to keeping sustainability for our brand and for the clients and caregivers that depend on our brands so wholeheartedly each and every day. And capital access was critical.
This
Well,
is what I love so much about franchising. I believe as we come out of this, like imagine the businesses that don't have the support of a franchisor, and you're obviously a rock star franchisor and you guys support your folks, but imagine those businesses that don't have that. It's
yeah,
it's it's just incredible.
Yeah,
it's
my
certainly.
team has done amazing. My team really has rallied. I mean, my CFO leaned in to helping me put together the PPE, talk about other duties as assigned, right? Our technology, we had screening of caregivers on because we own our own technology. We developed our own technology. We were screening caregivers before they went into clients' homes on March 19th. Think about
Wow.
how long ago that
Wow.
was and how early into the crisis that was. We were screening clients as part of every shift by March 26th. I mean, that's amazing. My team has done amazing in what they've done for franchisees. We had to stand up an entire respirator program so that people could use N95 masks, which everybody talks about in the news, but it's actually not safe if you have asthma and other kind of underlying conditions to give someone to use that if you haven't gone through a medical screening. So we had to put together medical screening partnerships across the country, fit testing across the country through third-party relationships and discounted pricing for our franchisees. So my clinical team, my technology team, my marketing team, everyone has been doing just amazing work. Made me so proud.
How much of it is the importance of communicating to the clients and the families of the clients these measures that you're taking? I would
I
imagine.
think that's huge. I think that made them feel really good that they already knew, because the franchisees communicated to each family that on March 19th we were already ready to start screening our caregivers,
Yeah.
and that we were going to have our caregivers come in with masks. It didn't mean that they were sick. It meant that we wanted to prevent any spread of something that doesn't show symptoms for a large amount of the population, and we wanted to keep our clients safe. So I think that was really important to our messaging. I don't know if you've seen our new TV spots, but it's really important of kind of the stay home and kind of we're there and part of the solutions. So my hope is that with the investments that we're making, which are about $4 million incremental to normal budget for TV, we will help our franchisees come out of their core business declines faster, stronger. We're not there yet, still unchoppy future ahead, but the brand that's going to come out of this first and strongest will be us.
I certainly agree. I mean, you're an amazing CEO. You're a super mom. You're a great friend to everybody, and of course, and it obviously always helps with all that PPE preparation you
A
had.
great boss when you're an intern.
Yeah, exactly. And you have a bit of an accounting background, maybe possibly. So I think that potentially helps with all the numbers going on in all these different places as well. And we're really happy that we got a chance to actually like get a little bit of time with you.
My pleasure. Anything for you, Zach.
I love how we just naturally turn this into a very like business, but that's what we're interested in, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we don't have every day where we get a chance to talk to Shelly on here, so we might as well use it for 10 minutes or so. But I am curious, Shelly, who are you nominating for this?
Well, franchise friends and royalty that I think should be on the show that have been making a huge impact. Our current chair of the Franchisee Forum, Tam Kennedy, is a dear friend of mine. She running obviously a Mexican concept and survived Cinco de Mayo yesterday. I was checking on her and they did an amazing job. So I think she has to be on there. Another great franchisor who's been doing great things with his franchisees, Paul Pickett, dear friend. And now he has a little bit of time if he's not under medication from being kind of laid up and recovering from surgery. And then Ron Feldman, who, you know, he did Herculean work working alongside Rubio for what became the PPP loan program. You know, things have continued to shift and change with SBA guidance that's made it really hard for businesses and banks to try to get money into the hands of people and have them feel confident to deploy it to payroll. But Ron was one of the huge heroes in franchising that made PPP possible. For everyone else who got to take advantage of it. So I think his perspective of coming through this would be really interesting. So those are my 3 picks, Tam, Paul, and Ron.
I love that. He lost sleep for the rest of us, Ron. He really
yes,
did.
He did.
He
took it on broad shoulders. Yes, he absolutely did.
He really did. Well, we're really happy we got a chance to hang out for a little bit. Cheers. And
Cheers.
a happy Whiskey Wednesday, everybody.
Here's to
Thanks,
Shelly.
guys.
Here's to friends, and here's the franchising.
Sounds great. Cheers.